Redshift here, doing my part to shift perceptions out of the pink and into the red.
This is Forgotten Furion, about an old man, and in this video I will be back for another round of reviews of Redshift's videos, so let me just get into it. Female Nature, a miscellany video. Your genetic engineering and everything under the sun being controlled by epigenetics is nonsense, more or less. I mean, yeah, that's a bit much. That was a bit of a blunt way of putting it, but I'm a blunt guy. Alright. So, yep, nope, I don't see it. So, we've had all of the things that you mentioned in order in the past, right? Without genetic engineering or anything, right? And by the same or similar means, I believe we may do the same again. Yes, elite's gonna elite. All right, no one can argue with you. You know, no one can argue with that. You know, Jesus railed against the synagogue of Satan, so there is a Jews problem. You know, blacks really are dumber, so there is a blacks problem, and they're more violent. Same thing with the brown people, you know, and the red people. Caucasians at the top of the pyramid there. They're, you know, every little group has they're onto something. You know, they're all onto something. But yeah, okay, so my lead's gonna elite, alright? Everybody knows that, and if they don't, they're wrong. Okay, so Chris Cantu, I think I covered him in your last video. To me, he's just another affirmative action sponge who was too lazy and prideful to get a job, so he moved to a foreign country to retire early. The elites attack lots of people, and not just cultish, lazy, meathead Mexican or Native Americans. Which are genetically almost identical, by the way, those last two. And I believe you're reaching there, Shifty Bear. Again. Otherwise, I completely agree with this video. Except that evil, or rather evil, evolution. Evolution is the self-worshipping atheist conflation of the relative adaptation of the creation of Jehovah or Yahweh, whichever name you like better. Alright? I mean, I can't prove that, granted, you know, but neither can people who hold the opposite to be the case. The paradigm that you describe will be in the new kingdom, okay? Your ideal world. Minus the nature of sin, right? So like Turtling Monkey and yourself both hold that, oh yeah, you know, there'll be like a splinter in their mind and they're going to be like wanting to do bad stuff. No. Because we were never meant to want to, because there's no true reward in it. It's all just an illusion. Alright? An illusion of reward. I'm sure you can understand what that means, right? This is what the nature of sin is. Deception, right? Thus, the perfect utopia is very much possible if we're immortal and feel no pain, only have to eat, what is it, like once a month, I think it is, and so on. And I believe that humans may yet get our own worlds or our own people to watch over, right? Because it says that there'll be worlds without end. And I was just like, okay, why is it that overkill? And then I was like, well, we are going to be immortal, so we got to do something, right, with our time. Okay, so, and you know, we got all this energy. But that's just speculation on my part, okay? Response to Zeitgeist Eaters, my thoughts on the purple pill. Shiftysaurus, are you for really serious with this whole women have submissive gene thing? I mean, I just covered that, but no, okay. I think it's Genesis 3:16 where God cursed them, right? And he said, your husband, and if you look up the word husband, it means men, or all men. It also translates as man. Will rule over you. So God created that and the need for dominance. Otherwise, like, and even arguably even meat eating and death itself, because like in heaven, lions and lambs will both eat grain, okay, and people won't fight each other. So arguably even the need for dominance was created by God, okay, in Genesis 3:17, or when he destroyed the earth twice, you know, once with sin and death, once with the flood. The third time's going to be the, you know, well, anyway. So, nope, wrong answer. Okay, yeah, so I just covered the hypergamy dominance and how God pretty much created the necessity for them. And he cursed Adam and Eve both, pertaining, Adam was more spiritual and economic, Eve was more biological, right, and spiritual. But bam, there it is. So there's your MGTOW in a nutshell. Okay. Yeah, so that's a wrap, all right. Other than these few issues, very few, I agree with this pretty lengthy video, and I enjoyed your reference to lock picking, as I'm a fan of and practitioner of the art. All right. Yeah, the purple pill to me is just a bunch of really a bunch of pickup artistry types. It's like the men's rights movement or pickup artists, in that they just want to get their pee-pee touched in spite of any and all danger. All right, no matter how obvious. So I kind of liked your take on it, but that's my take on it. All right. Okay, so to me, the purple pill, MRA, pickup artist. This is the matriarchal male, or what I like to call the male mantis mindset. And I'll probably come out, there's a couple of alt-right types I want to go after, and I'll probably use that title, male mantis mindset. So dibs. Oh, and there is no obedience gene. All right, Eric the Redshift. It is choice. Response to Blonde in the Belly of the Beast. My man, Eric the Redshift, women are the largest legally protected minority class, and Caucasian women are the primary beneficiaries of affirmative action. Again, I love to harp this, and I'm going to keep harping, and I'm going to bang that drum. Only men register for selective service. The race card, and everybody's like, oh, my racism. Oh. Well, besides the fact that Caucasian men abolished slavery, every other race still has slaves to this very day, and women, as soon as they got the right to vote, were pro-slavery. Aside from those things, the race card is just, and my white babies caterwauling, they're both the same thing, and that's to distract from the source, namely the curse of Eve running amok and making Adam's curse all the worse. Or another way of putting that is the women. It's all the women. They're the largest legally protected minority class. And I don't even know if Google will shoot you straight. It'll probably pop up, Mexicans. But no, it's women. All right? It's women. They're a legally protected minority class, even though they're the physical majority. Women are black people. There you go. If anybody's, my Martin Luther King, Martin Luther just wanted his check. He even said so. He said, we're going to march on Washington and we're there to get our check. Does that sound like women to you? Sounds like women to me. Okay, the alt-right goes on and on about them and Jews, but there are Christian Jews on the side of God, and women in power, the corrupt Judaism and atheism adherents that happen to be ethnically Jews. All right, I've been over that before. Democrats, women, Jews, the Judaism adherents, colored people, and yes, even the affirmative action. Oh yeah, I forgot to say Jews do receive affirmative action. They're all lumping together, okay? They're all working together. But as I said, some Jews are Christians. And some women will say that they want women to register for selective service or not get affirmative action, but they're not doing anything. At least the Christian Jews are trying to do something in their country. If you look it up, they are. So God has his stuff that he commands, and one of those things is that men rule over women. It's that simple. And that women are not allowed to usurp or have authority over men. Full stop, as they say. All right. I'm not having it. So I am ready to go all the way Nagaland, right? Nagaland, India, where they just rioted until the government was like, all right, we give. And then they was like, yeah, that's what's up. The alt-right and the Christian church let women just have unjust authority over men, and that's why I'm not with either of them. Many MGTOW men rail against infighting, but I don't rail against infighting. I encourage it. Yeah, that's right. Because here's the thing. When I played football, and I went all out during our practice scrimmages, which is team like versus each other, half the team against half the team, and they like divided it out so it was basically even, like in skill. And when we I went all out, and when we would lose, I would ramp up. I would just rampage during the practices. Like normally I'd go like 100%, right? But then I would just like like 150% when we would lose a game, and bet you the next game, after what, 3 or 4 practices in a row, and I'm just out there slamming people and tossing them like a rag doll and just no mercy, they're going to win the next match, believe it. Or they're going to keep getting pounded over and over and over and over. And I would just, they used to call me Rampage and Ryan, okay? So just, that's what's up. And so they would get right after a couple of bangs, after I hit them up enough times. So Proverbs 27. So anyway, I encourage infighting. Encourage. Iron sharpens iron. That's from the Bible, all right, originally. You look, my division. No, we are a country that is a federation of states. That's what they mean when they say, together we stand, divided we fall. That's like the egalitarians who want to be 100% egalitarian, unqualified. No, we have equality before the law, equality of opportunity, and what they're pushing is equality of outcome. That's evil, all right? Same thing with being united, unqualified. That's like saying, I'm with this guy because he's a guy, or even though he'll try to jump me and kill me because I'm white and he's black or brown. Or, or he's a communist and I'm a capitalist, but we're both on the same team because we're both Americans. Nope. He's about as un-American as it gets. And even still, what if it comes down to the state? I'm not with this. Who am I with? Texas or Oklahoma? You see where I'm going? All right. So we're not unified, unqualified in the unqualified sense. We're a federation of states. That's our unity. All right. Not just, we're on the same bro team. Well, then why are they always trying to screw me over, huh? So Proverbs 27:17 in the New King James Version says the following: As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. While Ecclesiastes 9:10 of the same version says, Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with your might. For there is no work or device or knowledge or wisdom in the grave where you are going. I think that you, meaning Ragnar the Redshift, goes that you went wrong with something. Women can view a thing, even morality, outside of a egocentric, subjective, or what we would call solipsistic lens, as they have the ability to be rational at will. However, they choose not to so often that one would be hard-pressed to prove that they had the ability, unless one noted that they are very objective and rational when it benefits them, and scarcely at any other time. Eve's daughter is gonna Eve, Eric the Redshift.
The sweet smell of fruit doesn't normally send rats running. But when researchers paired the orange, cherry, almondy scent of the chemical acetophenone with a painful electric shock, lab rats quickly learned to fear it. Along the way, extra neurons sprouted in their noses and in the smell processing center of their brains, making them super sensitive to the scent. This result isn't shocking. What is surprising is that the rats' pups and their pups' pups were also startled by the smell of acetophenone and had the same extra neurons as their fathers, despite never having been introduced to either their dads or the fruity scent before. But how could the pups have inherited something that their fathers learned? Basic genetics tells us that only DNA gets passed along to offspring. Characteristics like memories, scars, or giant muscles can't get passed on since acquiring them doesn't alter the genetic code. But it turns out that instilling fear in the rats did trigger genetic changes, not in the DNA sequence itself, but instead in how that code was read and used in the rats' bodies. In every cell, biological machinery constantly